Hey, HannahMouse1 here. Welcome to another devlog for A Farmer's Life, the farming game that I'm making in Scratch. In this episode, I make it so that you can equip the different clothing types that I added into the game last episode. But first, as always, I added in a new hairstyle and a new extra. For the hair, I wanted another traditionally male haircut, so I did a close cropped cut with a side quiff. And for the extra, I decided to add in a basic moustache. I made it so that these can be equipped from the character customization menu. And then I made the art for the first clothing item, the t-shirt. Before doing any more of the art for the clothing, I wanted to make the page where you can actually equip them so I could start testing the drawing system for the clothes. This page needed tabs for the 4 different types of equipable clothing, as well as the dye slots for the hat, shirt and trousers. I also added a back button that will take you back to the farm. I made it so that selecting the tab adds any items of that type to a list, which will allow me to display any possible equipable items. But first I made it so that the tab icon is replaced with the appropriate item if something is already equipped in that slot. This required me to add in the info to the character list that records what clothing items and dyes are equipped so that the item icon clones could pull and display that info. Then I got all the equipable options to display with arrows to scroll through these if there are enough of the different options for that to be necessary. Then I got the shirt that I made to render, setting its color effect based on the equipped dye or lack thereof if the case may be. I first set up all of this for the character render in the wardrobe page before extrapolating this out into a custom block and replacing any instance of the shirt being rendered to use this code. And from there I had everything in place to go on a bit of an artwork marathon, making all of the different costumes that I needed for each type of clothing, trying to make each one different and unique enough to tell them apart, with cotton clothes being lighter and more saturated than the wool clothing, and giving wool clothing some lighter detailing around the collars and cuffs to make them a bit more visually interesting. Everything seemed to be running smoothly enough until the project stopped saving because I'd exceeded the 50 megabyte file size limit for Scratch projects. But no worries, I just loaded my project into Turbo Warp, which is a Scratch mod site that has all of the functionality of Scratch but faster with more features and, more importantly, no 50 megabyte file size limit. I dived back into the art with a denim jacket, which I detailed with light cuffs and collar to make it look distinct from the other items of clothing. And items of clothing such as this and the leather jackets can't be dyed, so I had to code in this exception to the shirt drawing. I went through and made all of the art for the different trousers and skirts, and then made the code that draws the trousers onto the player, with the color being set based on whether the item's dyeable, and if so, what dye is equipped, if any. I also made it that if a dress is selected in the shirt slot, the trousers are replaced with a skirt, and again I made it so that this was all in a custom block to easily set this throughout my code. For the shoes, I didn't do any separate art for the different types of boots, I just had the shoe assets be recolored to match them. I made yet another custom block for this and subbed that in whenever the shoes are drawn. I then made the art for the bobble hat using the same wool color that I used for the jumper and cardigan, and partially because I just felt like I was on a roll, and partially because I felt that it was weird and incomplete to only have one type of craftable hat, I came up with 3 more. A straw hat, which will be made from wheat, a bucket hat, which will be made from iron, and a crown, which will be made from gold and red crystals. Next, I made the custom block to handle drawing both the hat and, if no hat is equipped, the player's hair. Finally, I went through the process of making the 3 new hats into craftable items. I needed to make inventory icons and labels for each before adding them into the item index and giving them places in both the inventory and the wardrobe. To make them craftable, I needed to make the UI for the recipes and add in all of the necessary checks to the spinning wheel to see if you have the materials necessary to craft them, and to actually craft the items if this is true. But that's all I got done for this devlog, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you did, it lets me know there's something I want to see more of. Join the Discord, link down below, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye!